Right now, thousands of San Diegans can actually feel the impact of federal funding cuts, from families struggling to stay housed to kids who need critical mental health support. Today, San Diego Foundation is stepping in with $750,000 in new grants to help fill those gaps. Joining us now are Amina Glam-Hussein with San Diego Foundation and Lisette Islas with Lifeline Community Services. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Amina, I want to start with you. Let's start with the big picture, okay? What are you hearing from nonprofits right now about the impacts of these federal funding cuts?
You know, right now we're hearing from families across the region that times are difficult. Families are struggling to make some impossible choices. They're choosing between paying their rent or buying their groceries or supporting a loved one with healthcare needs. And that's really challenging in a time like this. And so from nonprofits, we're also hearing that families are reaching out with a higher and higher demand for services at a time when we're seeing funding cuts happen. And so we're kind of getting hit on both sides at this time.
So the $750,000, it really targets housing, healthcare, and mental health. So what are the needs that you're seeing explicitly that made you target those areas?
So we're specifically seeing a lot of families struggling to pay their rent. We're also seeing families struggling to access mental health care and other health care needs, as well as basic food supports. That's why we're partnering with the nonprofits like Lifeline here, who's Lisette's here with me today, to target those specific needs. These grants that we're making right now are going to impact more than 6,000 San Diegans and provide them with access to housing support to prevent rental displacement, also supports for mental health, suicide prevention training, and support for basic needs.
So Lisette, that is where you come in. Y'all are actually dealing with the suicide prevention aspect of this. So tell people about that.
Absolutely. And thank you for the opportunity to talk about our work and to the San Diego Foundation for funding or supporting that work. Lifeline Community Services focuses on providing mental health services to young people and their families. We serve about 25,000 people every year all across San Diego County. And one of the unfortunate impacts of this time is that there's been shifts, in addition to the federal changes, there's been shifts at the state level. And that has had a waterfall effect. And several of the nonprofits have been impacted, including Lifeline, that provide mental health services and all sorts of supports to the community. One of the programs that was impacted at Lifeline was a suicide prevention program that we have held for years that supports somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 kids every year. We are spread across 9 different school districts, helping to identify kids that are at risk of self-harm, and then working with them and a trusted adult to make a plan to make sure that we avoid that.
How critical is that right now?
Absolutely critical. Some studies show that about 1 in 6 high school students are having serious thoughts about suicide, and 95% of kids will tell you, or teenagers will tell you, that they are very concerned about the mental health of their peers. So it's a very big topic that isn't getting enough attention right now.
When we think of suicide prevention, I think people think of it's a real crisis. I'm guessing what you're doing is try to prevent that from getting to the actual crisis point, right?
Absolutely. We partner with the schools. We actually go into the schools. We provide information not just to the entire student body, but also to teachers and staff so they know what signs to look for. And then, like I said, be able to make plans that support kids that are having particular problems and partner with their parents also into making sure that the parents understand the situation.
That's key. Amina, for viewers watching who want to help, how can their local donations make a tangible difference, and can they still help?
Of course. So right now, folks can visit San Diego Foundation's website at sdfoundation.org/Unity Fund to learn more about the efforts of the Unity Fund and to give directly to the Unity Fund. We also encourage families and San Diegans to support their local nonprofits. Take a look at the list of nonprofits the Unity Fund is supporting. Check out their websites, offer your time as well as your donation. San Diegans have always stepped up to help when things get difficult, and now's no different.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for what you're doing in our community. We really appreciate you.